Welcome back to the Thinking Wealthy podcast. This is episode
5.
no, wait. Yeah, 5.
5. Let's go.
We're in episode 5. You know what that
Oh
means?
my gosh.
We've been doing this for 5 weeks.
No
When
way.
you're seeing this, it's the 5th week.
That's insane. This will be like,
A whole month.
holy crap.
And guess what? If you've been watching every episode, that means you've been dedicated to watching and subscribing and being part of the team that we're creating here.
Yeah, the team.
The team,
For
the
past
gang,
5 weeks,
the
bro.
squad for the past 5 weeks.
That's some
and
consistency.
you've been improving your life for the past 5 weeks.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we're going to keep that going every week for the rest of the year, for the rest of our lives.
Till we die.
Till we die.
I mean, it'd be sad if it was just one of us on the podcast episode. Like, Aiden just died, guys. Welcome back.
But we keep it going.
We keep it going.
Through death.
Yeah.
But today, the episode is all about motivation versus discipline. We're going to be talking about both and kind of the
How it
pros and
works.
cons of each and how it works. And yeah,
Just so you guys know, we have a fee.
we have a fee.
We do have a fee. Now, listen up. You see, we grow this channel, this page here, this podcast entirely organically, okay? We grow entirely by what?
Word of mouth.
Bro. Word of mouth, all right?
Word of mouth.
If you got any information, if you felt motivated, if you felt disciplined, if you laughed a little, if you grew as a person from any of our episodes, go tell somebody, all right?
Go tell them, bro.
Go tell them to watch this. It's an information exchange, okay?
Info exchange.
We grow by word of mouth. So go tell your mom. Go
And
tell
your
your
friends.
grandma. Your grandma might need to get motivated,
Yeah, your grandma's friend's
G-mama.
mom's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's the fee. Go pay it.
But also, one more thing
Oh.
before we start.
One more thing.
So, if you guys have any questions or things you want to hear us talk about, I hope you realize you can put that down in the comments.
Yeah, literally go ask the questions in the comments.
You can put it on the TikTok, the YouTube. We see all of them. We try to respond to everyone. And we really do appreciate it when you guys leave the comments. And if you guys have any questions or things you want to hear about, leave those down there. We are actively looking for video ideas
Yeah.
all the time. So those will really actually be considered in episodes that we'll record.
Yeah, and think about it this way, right? Like we're just starting out. So if you're the first person to ask a question, you'll probably get an
You'll probably get an
Yeah,
episode.
you'll probably get
Like
an
low-key.
episode. Doesn't matter what, unless it's like something bad. But like if you want to ask how to tame a horse in the wild, we would make an episode about that.
Yeah.
We've
I'm
tried.
a pro horse tamer in ARC, if you didn't know.
Arc horse tamer.
So it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so
But yeah, so,
ask your
If-
questions.
if you got those questions, let us know. But I mean, hey, I think the intro's been long enough. Let's
Yeah,
get into
let's
this.
go. Let's get started.
So,
Start that Monday off right. Let's go, baby.
first question is, and first we're going to be talking about motivation. And that question is, what is motivation to you?
Okay, look. So, for me personally, motivation is one of the easiest sources of like energy to get as a person. You
For
know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like motivation is everywhere. Like honestly, there's so many TikToks out there like get out of bed, bro. Let's go. It's grind time. Like even our podcast is motivation, right? Like you can get motivation from anywhere and it's like this external energy source that you can just absorb. Like motivation is everywhere. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, no, literally the same thing. Like I agree with all of that. I think my motivation comes from like one of two things. It's either like seeing someone doing something that I want to do and something that like makes me go like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Or like me thinking about this idea or this like grand thing that I can get to and having this like burst of motivation to get started with it.
Yeah.
But like we're going to talk about, sometimes that motivation starts to lack.
Exactly.
And-
See, go ahead. No, you go.
Okay.
You go, bro.
Okay. I was just going to say, and like, when you get that motivation and you get that jolt of energy, a lot of the time it can feel like nothing's going to stop you. But then like 3 days down the line, you haven't got much done and then it kind of slows down.
Yeah, so basically we want you guys to be looking at motivation in a new light. Like that's what we're trying to open your eyes here, right? Motivation isn't exactly what it seems. So here's the next question. What's something that causes you to get motivated?
Well, I guess like I kind of already shared that like in the previous one, but
Yeah.
I'll kind of go a little bit more in depth. Like I think mainly for me is like new ideas. I think I'm someone who constantly is kind of like thinking about new ideas, thinking about things. My brain is ADD amplified, so it just constantly is
ADD.
thinking about new things, new ideas. And sometimes like I'll have this like one thing that's going really well, but I'm like, actually, I'm just going to stop doing that and go do something else. And it used to be worse for me, but through discipline, I've improved those things.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the ADD comment right there.
Yeah.
We had an entire TikTok video that we made about his ADD.
ADD amplified.
ADD amplified.
Okay, that kind of sounds hype.
Dude, that's a
ADD
hummingbird
amplified.
outside.
I think I say
pretty sick.
inside. That is cool.
Okay, anyways. ADD. Dude, maybe your ADD spread to me.
Yeah, low
that
key,
works
you're
like
kind of all over the place right now.
infectious. Sorry. Okay, anyways, something that motivates me. Okay, this sounds cringe, but I watch a ton of anime, right?
Oh, yeah.
I used to hate anime, but dude, on my mama, Demon Slayer has been one of the most motivational things. Literally today, bro, I ran like 4 miles. It was like butt crack of dawn. It was like 5:30, right? I was sprinting down the street. If anyone saw me, I would look like an insane sociopath. I was just thinking about Demon Slayer. Like, no spoilers, but it's a great show. But I get motivated from like stuff like that, seeing people do something epic, pushing themselves to their limits, like fighting to the bitter end, like that stuff like motivates me. Like, but here's the downside. It's like an external source. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't come from within.
It doesn't.
And often, because it doesn't come from within, you have no control over how much motivation you'll really have.
Exactly. And it always fizzles out. Like, I'm sure you as a viewer are thinking about something you're extremely motivated in. Like, you found some, I don't know, this is totally specific, so somebody's listening to this might freak out, but like, they found some alternative milk thing that they were really into, right? And they were so motivated to start drinking this alternative milk. And they're like, this is great. Like, it tastes so good. And then it starts to taste bad. And then you're not motivated to drink it anymore. You're not motivated to be healthy. And you're like, what happened? What went wrong? You know, like, that's motivation.
I think one example I'll give is, do you remember the first time I tried to learn Japanese?
Yeah, I do.
Remember that? I downloaded Duolingo, and I said, I'm going to learn Japanese. And I think I did it for like 17 days.
Yeah, no, it was like a month.
And like,
give you some credit.
What's interesting is if you look at like the XP graph, they would like, you know how they show you like how much XP you have.
Weekly graph.
First week was like up
straight,
here, like
yeah,
huge,
it was like 1,000 XP.
I was going
insane.
crazy because I had that motivation. Then the motivation started to dwindle, and just like it was like a graph of my motivation. You could see it just fall down slowly and slowly and get little peaks, and me being like, I gotta get back on it, and then eventually fizzled out, right? But now, I think like a year later, a little bit less than a year, I restarted, and through discipline now,
insane.
I've been going for like over a month or just around a month, but I've learned way more through, instead of looking for like that motivation to do it, I just consistently do 30 minutes a day through that discipline that I have to keep going.
Let's put you to the test here. Introduce yourself in Japanese. Just really fast. I think the viewers would like this.
Like, am I introducing myself like...
There is an old grandma right in front of you, and she's the nicest lady you've ever met. And she only speaks Japanese, so you need to introduce yourself.
And I haven't met her before, right?
I haven't met her before.
Because this is important. Okay.
So you have not met her before.
Low-key, I'm being put on the test right now.
You are on the test. Let's go.
Okay.
It's got to sound good, or else everyone's going to make fun of you in the comments.
I'm going to get made fun of. Okay. So, low-key, I look at the grandma. We make eye contact, and I go...
Wait, she's like 4'11" though. She's short.
Okay, I'm staring down at her. She's intimidated by my tall presence.
Dude, this is getting weird. Okay, you don't have to make it weird.
And she's older, so I go, Hajime maste, and I bow, right? Because you have to, not super much, like not a ton, like 20-degree bow.
Just a little bit, okay.
You know, to show respect, because she's my elder. And then I look at her and I go, Eden mashimoso, and that's it.
Let's go. Hajime no ippo.
Hajime no ippo.
Anyways. That was his test right there.
That was my test.
But yeah, okay, sorry. This is totally off track, but get back to motivation, you know? Like what I'm saying is that motivation will fizzle out. Like prime example was when he was doing his Duolingo grind. It was gone. You definitely have some area in your life where you were so motivated. You're like, this is going great. I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm like doing this, and then it's gone. I know there's people out there who can relate to this, and you're trying to solve the answer. And look, we have the answer. But before we get to that, one last question I want to ask about motivation is like, why do you think it's favored more than discipline?
Well, I think it's easier to see. Like people, like motivation is very easy for you to like see and grab hold of, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I'm constantly like seeing new spouts of motivation in my life, right?
Yeah.
And even in things that I'm disciplined in, I will sometimes do them more and less, kind of dependent on my motivation as well. Like the discipline helps keep it going every day. But like, even then, there's spouts of motivation. Sometimes I'll study Japanese for an hour and a half. Other times I'll study for 30 minutes, right? having that constant 30 minutes, but sometimes there's these little spurts because it's kind of like easy to grab hold of. You see something that makes you inspired and you do it for a bit, but then without the discipline, you can't keep that going and really become successful and consistent in it.
See, for me, like motivation, the reason people choose it so often and why they don't understand why discipline is like so effective is because motivation is so like it's everywhere. Like you can get it from any source. Like you can look at a lamp and be like, somebody worked so hard to create that lamp and they slaved away, man. And they like worked hard to create that lamp right there. You know, that the design, the energy they put in to make that lamp. Like think about that. Like that's kind of motivating, right? But that's not going to like boost me through my day. I'm never going to think about that lamp again. Like 10 hours from now.
Yeah, bro.
I won't be thinking about the lamp. I'll actually be watching
Frick
anime.
that lamp.
But like that lamp, dude, that's it. That's the motivation right there. It's so easy to get. And it's from every source. I'm sure you scroll through your TikTok For You page and like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. This dude just like punched a dog or something and he's like fought off animals to save his baby. And like, that's so motivating, bro.
Motivation.
Like, that's not going to keep you going, you know? Like it's everywhere. It's so easy. And that's why people choose it over discipline.
I think when it comes to motivation for most people, they kind of just see other people doing like disciplined things and they want to like get to that motivation. But I think like motivation is a lot more based off human instinct than discipline is. And we can talk about that more like as we get into more of the discipline questions. But I just think it's like, don't like belittle yourself for like being just kind of based off motivation. Like it's how humans have always been. It's human nature to be motivated. Yeah. But it's not as much human nature to be disciplined. Like if we're talking about like instinctual, like brain chemical stuff,
how you work naturally,
like you're always going to look to do the easiest thing for you, right? The thing that keeps you fed and healthy and alive. And that's about it. Like that's like basic human need type thing. And it gets amplified into like your life and how you decide to do things, right? You're always going to naturally, if you didn't ever have any discipline, you would just go doing the easiest thing over and over again, the thing that's going to make your life as easy as possible. So you can, you know, just kind of glide by. But most people, because we've been gifted with these brains to think and imagine.
He just dapped me up.
With that, motivation becomes this thing where we want to reach higher and go to new places, but it takes discipline to really get there.
Yeah. Like one thing I want to say before we move on to the last like point I want to make here is that like we're not preaching against motivation, right? Like motivation isn't a bad thing. Yeah. But it's not sustainable. Like you can't keep it forever. And that's like what the thought process we want you to understand from this episode is that motivation isn't a bad thing, but it's not going to get you where you want to be. It's going to point you in the right direction, but it's not going to get you there, right? Yeah. Here's the last thing I want to say about motivation, right? It's a vicious cycle. Like people always find themselves in this cycle where they're constantly getting motivated, drop off, quit whatever they're doing, find something, get motivated again, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. For sure. Forever. And they never break free because they don't understand that motivation is not sustainable. It's not an energy source that can last forever.
You'll always eventually run out of motivation. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who's successfully done something for multiple years just off motivation. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's always natural for you to fade in motivation. And then you have to develop that discipline. And some things I think are easier to be motivated to keep doing compared to like disciplined. Or sorry, I just worded that so wrong. Some things are easier to be disciplined in than others. Yeah. Right? Like something really hard, like working out, right? I feel like that takes a lot more discipline than something easier, like just getting up and journaling each day. Like it takes less out of you, but it's still important towards building those like habits, kind of what we talked about in episode 3. Like building those habits and being successful comes from that discipline, not motivation.
So the point I want to drive home here is that motivation is an emotion, all right? Like I really want you to think about this. Motivation is emotion because it changes, and every emotion is subject to change. But discipline is a skill set, and a skill set is something you can always work on and improve on. So that's some sauce for you.
You can always build your discipline tools, but you can't build motivation tools because those don't exist.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah, bro.
The fog is coming.
Okay. So now we've talked a lot about motivation, and you're probably like, well, what's the point? Y'all just bagging on motivation this episode. And yeah, we are.
We are.
But let's talk about what's more important.
Oh yeah.
Discipline.
So,
What is discipline to you?
ooh, discipline to me, like I said, it's a skill set. Discipline is a lifestyle. It's a way of being alive, bro. Discipline is something I care about so much, and I think is the most important factor in life as a whole. Like being disciplined leads to living a more fulfilled life. Like having discipline in all areas of your life will create a better life. Like straight up, that is something I live by. Like I can't even drive this home anymore. Like discipline is
He isn't
my
kidding
life.
either. All he talks about is discipline. I agree. Yeah, like 100% I agree. I think what's kind of cool is like everyone kind of has a little bit different discipline
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like they have a different way that they go about having discipline, and they have disciplines in different things, and like that's kind of what makes us all different, you know?
Yeah.
And some people have more, some people have less. Nick's got like a bunch. He's weird. I have less, but
I'm borderline psychopath, bro.
yeah, but like through one thing that's cool is like through seeing other people being disciplined, and kind of like from what I've seen with Nick, like your ability to like be disciplined has shown me like that kind of way of doing that as well. So it isn't like a hard thing to kind of build and learn. But it's a skill that like I feel like I'm constantly building as I improve mine as well.
Mhm.
And it's cool. It's like unlike motivation, it is a skill that you can build and work towards, you know, but it's about kind of like understanding like the limitations that your life creates and moving around them and creating the best possible day you can every day,
Mm-hmm.
while not letting those distractions and those things that can get in your way get in your way.
Yeah, like discipline. Like you said, it's everyone's at different levels, right? Some people might not even realize that they have a discipline level, that discipline even exists, right? Like
Yeah.
How do I break this down? I'm trying to think of the best way for the masses to collect this in their brain, right? Discipline it's simple things each day, but doing it because you have to do it, right? Like getting stuff done even when you don't feel like doing it, right?
Yeah.
It's knowing that this will benefit me in the future if I do this and get it done. Like, let me give an example. I take cold showers a lot, right? All the time, every cold shower.
Be crazy.
And initially when I first started them, I hated them, bro. I still don't really like them that much, but like the benefits are amazing. Anyways, I hated them. They were so hard for me to do. I was just relying off of motivation. I was like, this is so cool. Like I'm doing cold showers. But then I realized like I need to do this to actually progress myself as a person. And then I kept doing it, building up the skill set. Like I said, you can always work on the skill set and make it stronger. And now I can take cold showers every single day. Doesn't matter the weather, but you have to like push yourself to do that because you know it's good for you and you get it done even when you don't want to do it. That's discipline.
Yeah, I talked about journaling in episode 3. And this is kind of a thing that I've been doing a bunch. And I've tried to do like many times, like be consistent with it. And I've never been able to. I would always like before until this time I've been going more than a month now, like every day. But what's different and weird about it is like even last night I got home pretty late and I like took a shower and I like was about to go to bed, and then I remembered I was like, wait, I didn't journal, and it was all the way downstairs. Like the book was downstairs, like my journal, and I was like, low key, like I could just go in my bed, but I was like, no,
Let's go.
I'm going downstairs, and and like it doesn't really matter how much I write to me. It's like now it's like if I don't do it, I'm like, well, what was the whole month for?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, why did I work so hard the whole month of consistently doing this if I'm then just gonna give up on it, right? And like Nick said, it's like these small things can kind of compound and build on themselves and create much better like overall life habits because you're doing so many of them, right? So just by starting something like that and being disciplined in one little thing that might not seem very significant to you, it's going to help you build your discipline muscles in a way.
Dude, it literally is a muscle group.
It is.
But
You can train it.
I have an answer to the next question here if we want to jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So our next question is what creates discipline, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Like this has been kind of one of those things that's been in my mind the past month or so. And the thing that's been creating discipline for me is no compromises. You're asking yourself, what does that mean? No compromises? You mean with just people? No, bro. Like I'm not talking about not compromising with people. Like you gotta compromise with people. I'm talking about with yourself. You cannot be compromising with yourself. Let me give an example, right? Dirty dishes, right? I see them like chilling
Yeah.
over in the side of the corner. Like,
Dirty dishes.
I make scrambled eggs every morning, right? I see those. My mom always tells me to clean the dishes, bro. They look bad. They look disgusting. Help me out. I was like, dang, bro, I don't want to do this. And I was like, wait, I can't compromise here. So now what I've been doing, every time I see my dirty scrambled egg pan, right, I go up and I clean that. No compromises.
No compromises.
I see some dirt on the floor that I could have picked up as I walk past it, and I think to myself, oh, I can get that later. No compromises. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'll see, like, I'm at work, right, and I'm cleaning something, and I'm like, oh, I could leave that for somebody else. But I go and clean that because no compromises.
You got to do it.
You can't compromise in life because that'll lead down a slippery slope where you fall back into a situation where you're in the vicious cycle of motivation.
There you go.
So what creates discipline for you? How do you view it?
Very similar. I'd say I'm less experienced, and I definitely sometimes have trouble creating discipline.
We don't talk about motivation.
We don't talk about motivation.
Frig motivation.
Discipline. And mainly I kind of create discipline through thinking about something I can do repeatedly and something that I can do and something I want to do, right? Like, I have always kind of had like bad habits. I think everyone has kind of bad habits. And for me to create discipline, I instead of looking at discipline as like, what are good habits I can make? First, I kind of started targeting like, what are bad habits I could be disciplined in getting rid of? Because I had a lot of like, not like genuinely like bad health habits, but like just like things that weren't good, like things that weren't helping me create good habits and discipline, right? So like I just went through and I said, I'm going to, try to limit that phone usage in the morning. I'm going to try to limit how much I'm just kind of spending sitting around doing nothing, right? And I can have those days where I can relax and enjoy myself, but it's all about creating like that time for it, right? So I kind of been, I look at discipline as like, discipline is about blocking out like when to do certain things and thinking about your day kind of in advance instead of letting it just kind of roll on you. And then a lot of the time you can kind of just let your instincts decide what you're doing when you just let the day come onto you and let it kind of control you. So if you have a plan from the get-go and you're ready to go, discipline becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, like something I want to continue on from the day point, like every day is a choice, right? When you wake up, you can either choose to, let me just get motivated and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Or you can choose to get everything done and actually like do it, even though you don't want to do it, right? Like that's the discipline that makes you stronger.
You're going to conquer that day.
Yeah, exactly. And discipline is a skill. Like we said earlier, you can always make it stronger. You can always like practice that skill set. And it's like something you can constantly work on. We want you guys to change your mindset of thinking like, oh, that guy over there, the rich dude who like has all the money in the world, maybe he got it from his dad, I don't know. But like, what if he was really disciplined and worked really hard to get there, right? Like, yeah, he worked hard to get that discipline, right? Like, he built up the skill set to get there. Like, I don't want you guys to look at somebody who's, like, top-tier athlete and be like, oh, that guy must just be really lucky. Like, nah, bro.
No.
To be up there, you got to be disciplined.
Those people work hard. It's not just luck. They might have, like, decent genetics for whatever they do, but it is not just that, bro. They work every day. They're the ones that are getting up and being disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, most people who you look up to are the ones who figured out the motivation hack. They're getting rid of that motivation and they're using the discipline every day. But other people see it as motivation.
Exactly. They see it as like luck and motivation.
Luck and motivation.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Go find a top tier Olympic athlete.
Go find them.
I'm talking about a S tier #1 winner Olympic athlete, right? And you go meet this person. I don't know where you'll find them. Maybe they're in a Facebook group or something. Go look for a top tier Olympic athlete.
Go get them.
You talk to that person and you will find that this person is extremely disciplined. It wasn't motivation. It wasn't luck. They didn't just figure it out. Like, it was discipline. They grinded, they worked hard, and they became the person they were because of that discipline.
Yeah. And you don't have to go through it alone.
Oh, absolutely not.
We're here to help you. And we understand that it might be weird and hard and difficult to figure out how this discipline thing works, but we're here to help. We're here to create the path for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're ready to answer the final question.
Yeah.
Why is discipline a better choice than motivation?
All right. Well, I like to talk about a little quote I left here, right? Motivation, that vicious cycle we talked about earlier, it's constantly there. It's constantly eating away at you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just falling back. You're like, what's wrong? Why is this happening to me? Like you don't understand what's going on, right? The answer is discipline. That is why it's better than motivation. Motivation is an energy source that's external. You have to get it from other things. You have to constantly be sucking it in and like
Can't create it.
yeah, you can't create it. And then what are you going to do when you run out? You just go find more, but then it's like it's gone again. And then you're like, what am I doing wrong? The issue is it's external. Discipline is internal. This energy source will last a lifetime. Discipline will solve all your problems.
It really can't. And I didn't believe it at first either. You know, Nick was always talking about that, but I was like, nah, man, I don't need it. I don't know how to do it. But it was because I didn't know how to like really find that discipline within me to keep those things going. That's why I wasn't doing it, right? So like until you get that discipline, and you can't expect to be disciplined in everything.
Oh
like,
yeah.
The goal is to be
yeah.
disciplined with everything, but like
It's going to be hard.
it's hard, and I don't think anyone is fully 100% disciplined every day, all the time. Like you're going to want to do things that you know might not be the best for your discipline, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing is that you keep that mindset going, you keep trying your best, and you keep pushing for a better you every day, right? And overall, just think about it this way. If you're constantly looking for this like little bit of motivation, think about the time that it takes in between those motivation spurts. Like sometimes it's going to be weeks before you get re-motivated to do something.
Oh, yeah.
And people who live off motivation, what they become are people who have 1 week progress in a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody who is disciplined and somebody who, you know, like you hear like a lot of things. So like you're going to have to do this for multiple years before you really get it down and get it successful, right? Those people who actually did it for multiple years and are successful are the disciplined ones.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else looking at them being like, I can be like them too, but then they get frustrated that they aren't there yet.
Yeah.
It's because all they're doing is living off motivation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like that's all it takes. Like I hope we opened up your mind a little bit, right? And you view this differently now, because this was a concept I kind of like learned recently too. Like
Yeah.
must have been, I don't know, maybe a year ago now that I figured this out. Like this is a hard topic to understand, and it takes a lot of growing, and I'm still learning everything about it today. Like no one is completely disciplined. Like I still have areas in my life that I need to work on my discipline in. And that's the fun part. It's like it's a process of building that up, and you get to see who you grow into from this discipline. It's amazing. Like once you break away from that motivation and you start doing what you need to do because you know you got to do it, that's when like life starts, bro.
It really does. All right.
I think that's a wrap.
I think we're done. We
No
finished
way.
the episode. And we
What?
hope that this didn't motivate you, but
Wait.
instead.
I have one last thing to say.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. You guys got to pay the fee before you go, okay? Remember, if you got anything from this episode, if you grew a little bit,
If
we
you grew
changed your
some
mindset-
discipline.
Yeah, if you grew
Not
some
motivation.
discipline, anything, right? If you changed your like, I don't know, you laughed a little, you did something.
You
told your
enjoyed it.
grandma. Yeah. Anyways, we grow by word of mouth. So
Word
go
of mouth.
tell somebody, all right?
Go tell them.
Go tell them. Anyways.
We hope you guys enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you start the discipline grind today.
Mm-hmm.
Start working on it. Every day, we got to keep moving forward.
Day in, day out.
This is the start of the week. We're going to see you guys next week.
Oh, yeah.
See you then.